Hello everyone, got a little extra video for you here. I've got about this one when I did today's main 10 to 14 day video update. So of course we are very much at the end of this season of autumn updates. Autumn forecast is going to be released on Sunday. We're going to do the last, third and final seasonal roundup for autumn 2020 on Saturday. It'll be the first video up on Saturday morning, ahead of the autumn forecast on Sunday. Now, with that, we get like 12, 13 long-range models together to see what they're all showing for the autumn. And as part of that, the JMA will form part of that sort of collection, a montage, if you like, of models. But with the JMA, you get a lot of information from the Japanese Meteorological Agency long-range forecast model. And, of course, got sort of 12, 13, 14 of models. So we can't go through the JMA in detail. We can't drill down into the detail in that video. So we always like to take this one out, isolate it out, and have a look and see what it's showing in its own terms for the coming 3 months. So that's what we're doing for this video. I very, very nearly forgot about this, but at the last minute I remembered that I've got this to do ahead of the season model roundup. This is kind of setting up the season model roundup on Saturday, really. So I've definitely got to get this one done for you. So I'll get on it very shortly. Just say that the first video release day was the regular 10 to 14 day video update with all of the usual features and focusing specifically on devastating, catastrophic Hurricane Laura. Tonight, I'm going to try and get in a USA forecast. I'm very, very busy, but I will try and get in another video for the USA tonight. Right, let's get on with this one then. So, starting off with the JMA 500 millibar height anomaly from the North Pole and Arctic view down for September. Rather a strange looking chart that we've got here. So, like, this is the North Pole, this wider Arctic circle. We've got mid-latitudes around here. So, red extrapolates to high pressure, yellow, orange, and red. Blue extrapolates to low pressure. So this is quite a strange chart for September. We've got an area of above average heights just there around Newfoundland and go down into the Atlantic. There is some higher pressure up here and around here too. Now this area, you would expect this to be a trough of low pressure really. There's no actual sign of trough of low pressure. We haven't got any blue colours, but the colours are lighter through there. So I reckon this is kind of like some sort of a shallow trough that we've got around here with a ridge through there and a ridge over there. So what may appear to be not a particularly unsettled September could actually be a little bit more unsettled than you might think, and the flow of the jet could well be coming in like from a west to northwest direction. It could just be a little bit more changeable than you might envisage from the overall 500 millibar height anomaly in terms of the colours there. So maybe a rather coolish and slightly unsettled September to start us off. October definitely brings in a trough of below average height, so there's no doubt what this is showing. So we've got an area of blue here around Iceland down to north of Scotland, above average heights to our south as well. Winds and a jet stream therefore, that's a bit south, winds and jet stream therefore coming through rather like that. So an unsettled October is going for an unsettled October with low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. You would expect westerly winds and bands of rain and a proper autumnal type October. And then November looks quite interesting, actually. So again, back to these rather strange-looking charts. So we've got this area of above-average heights here around Newfoundland, extending up to the south of Greenland. There is also northern blocking as well. We've got high pressure within the Arctic and in the northern latitudes and over towards west parts of Russia as well. This area is interesting. Again, it isn't particularly evident as a trough of low pressure, but the heights clearly are lower there than they are like to the north and northwest. And so again, you would probably expect some sort of trough to be through here, I think. You would expect some sort of trough to be elongating through west of Europe. So we've got a ridge there, and a ridge there. You would expect this to be a trough, really. And so you would probably envisage the flow of the jet to be doing something a little bit like that, which then will place us on the cold side of the jet, you see. That will place us on the cold side of the jet. Will potentially be bringing in a wind from like a northwesterly to rather northerly directions. So again, it doesn't look overly interesting really, it doesn't look overly dramatic, but that could be quite a coldish looking November. We will have a look at the temperature anomalies in a moment and so on, but I reckon that could have a little bit of wintry potential with that, given the heights out to the north and the northwest. What looks like a trough extending down with a jet stream through the west of Europe. So let's have a look at those mid-latitude charts next then. So again, come back to September. This is how September is looking in terms of 500 millibar height anomaly. Again, we can't see the Arctic and North Pole view down. That's off the chart up here, but of course we have had a look at that view down already, so we know what it's showing. So that's where British Isles is, an island just below top right-hand corner of the chart. So for September, we've got this area of above average heights, well away from us to the northwest, and what looks like probably a northwest-southeast alignment of the jet stream, maybe a slightly more unsettled month than you might have envisaged given the 500 millibar height anomaly. Actually, the precipitation anomaly is not overly unsettled. It is a little bit on the drier average side. Many parts of Europe, though, slightly wetter than average, interestingly. But for us, we're like near normal to slightly drier for precipitation. But temperatures are a bit cool. Temperatures are a little bit below average. So cooler than average September being predicted there. And the reason why is wind direction. So from the black arrows here, which is always a job to make out, but from the black arrows, they're in from the northwest. So a northwesterly September with regular sort of cool shots coming in from the north. I can actually show the mean sea level pressure anomaly as well. That's SST. This is mean sea level pressure anomaly. And this looks a little bit more unsettled again in terms of the mean sea level pressure anomaly. Again, we've got the above average heights just there. Or we've got high pressure, I suppose, sea level pressure. You've got high pressure just there. And then you see the blue curve just there. That's a trough of low pressure that's like to our north and northeast. And of course, this sends the jet stream on this northwest-southeast alignment. So yeah, rather cool September. And I would suspect, although it's going for a slightly drier average, I would suspect a little bit more unsettled than the precipitation anomaly actually shows. And then we go through to October. Of course, in October, we've got this area of low pressure just to the north of the country, above average heights again pulled out to our west. Winds a little bit more westerly this month, so I expect a milder month for October, probably near normal real temperature, but could be very unsettled as well. Now the precipitation anomaly has gone above average. It's a wetter than average month being signalled for October, given low pressure driving in off the Atlantic. Temperature anomalies are lifting up a little bit, still hinting at being a bit on the cool side actually, just to our west, but the temperature has lifted up slightly, so probably near normal temperatures. And the reason, slightly less of a northerly component to wind, although the wind direction indicated by black arrows here is again sort of west to northwest. So we're not talking about a particularly warm month. We're certainly not talking about pulling up very warm southerly winds or anything like that. A rather sort of coolish west to northwesterly. So near normal temperatures and quite wet. For October. This is how mean sea level pressure anomaly looks in October. Very similar to the 500 millibar height anomaly, really. High pressure just there, low pressure just here. Winds are sort of west to rather northwesterly. And then finally, we've got November, and again, we've got this area of above average heights building up out to our west and northwest. Again, it looks like there should be some sort of trough extending down through here. And so I would have thought the wind direction is likely to be kind of northwesterly to perhaps a bit northerly, and a little bit of a dip in the jet stream as well. The precipitation anomaly isn't as wet in November, so it's a slightly drier month, particularly compared to October. But nevertheless, it is rather unsettled. It is November after all. The temperature anomaly, again, is close to average in most areas, although just to our west it does hint at being a little bit cooler than average, particularly for Ireland, out into the Atlantic. For the UK itself, probably near normal, maybe slightly above average. But look at the wind direction. I reckon this will be a colder month than that. It's suggesting. Look at where the black arrows are coming from. So we've got northerlies to northeasterlies coming through there. And into the UK, we're sort of northeasterly to maybe slightly easterly. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting wind direction to be quite like that. So I think that could be quite a coldish November that's being signalled there. And the mean sea level pressure anomaly, let's just have a look at that. Well, this is interesting too, isn't it? So a mid-Atlantic ridge here. In evidence in terms of the mean sea level pressure anomaly. Now, there isn't a particularly evident trough of low pressure, except over Spain. There's some blue colours over Spain. If we come over here into like some parts of the Mediterranean. So yeah, I think that could have wintry potential that November. I think that could have wintry potential in November. And in terms of the autumn overall, it's quite interesting actually, because that probably would bring us out with a cooler than average autumn. This is a shock. I'm sure for a lot of people this is a shocker. I can't believe I nearly forgot to bring this this video to you as well. But I think this is going to be a shock for a lot of people, because the JMA normally is always going warmer than average, similar to the V2. But between September, that does look rather cooler than average, with winds in from the northwest, and November, which again hints at being quite a coolish month, I think, maybe cold at times if the wind's in from the northeast in November. It's not going to be particularly warm, let's be honest. And October probably no better than average, really, with like westerlies to slightly northwesterlies. I think that probably hints at a cooler than average autumn, actually. So this is, I mean, the temperature anomaly overall for the autumn would be near normal, but I think this is going to be a surprise for quite a few people drilling down through detail. We won't have time to do this in the seasonal model round. In fact, I've already recorded the seasonal model roundup for the autumn of 2020, and I didn't have time to go through the data as I have done right now. So yes, it's going to be very interesting, I think, what happens with this autumn, with the JMA hinting to me, anyway, hinting at the chance of a cooler than average autumn, and potentially quite a coldish November if the wind does indeed get into the northeast and to the east. So a bit of a shocker, bit of a shocker from JMA seasonal model this week. Let's not go overboard. It's not signaling a very cold period. You know, it's not sort of indicating like severely cold or anything like that, but I think it is hinting at a little bit of a cooler autumn miss, which is something we haven't had for quite some time. Right, okay, so that's that one done. A little bit of an extra one thrown in for you today. With that later on, hopefully with USA forecast. I am hoping to try and update the blog as well a little bit later on at GavsWeatherVids.com. Whether I'll have time for that, I don't know. Right, so that's it for this one, though. So thanks so much for watching. And I say the season model roundup for the autumn 2020, the big season around, is going to be released on Saturday. More to be the first video up on Saturday, and then of course we're doing the GavsWeatherVids autumn forecast on Sunday. For this video, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.